control of critical functions.
Greetings, everyone. All you wild and weirdos and weirdettes out in Wild and Weird Radio Land. It is Ron. That is Joe over there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a massive show tonight. But first,
LW kicked the door down.
What? I don't
says
see.
Never forget. Absolutely.
That's where we want to go with this as well. And also, we have some pretty sobering news today as well. And I would honestly like to just, for no more than just 30 seconds, let's just have a little bit of silence here for someone who really, honest to goodness, can't be replaced.
Yeah, he was a good friend to many in the community.
Everyone.
He was a valuable asset and mentor to many, and to us, he was someone who reviewed our data. He was the only academic to ever review our data on a regular basis. And that meant the world to us. And Dr. Jeff Meldrum, we thank you. All right, everybody, let's get this ball rolling. Let's get moving. This has been an absolutely bonkers week, and we are glad that you are here with us to bring this weekend in and go into the weekend on an upswing. Okay, so Donna Ho, thanks for being here. Juan Berry, Beth, how you doing? Vincent Ellison, Bigfoot Project, Matt Carter, L.R. Miller. We've got Octoman. Jordan Booker is here. Pat has arrived. Enzo's in the house. What's going on, Enzo? Good to see you. Enzo, we're going to be picking your brain here later too, for obvious reasons. You probably know where that's going, but yeah, we'll be hitting you up and getting some commentary from you shortly. We've got Oz in the Woods in the house. Uveru's here. Then let's see. Miss Clower is here. Mr. Snell is here somewhere as well. Larry Hose, Happy Thursday, everywhere, and good to see you in the house, Larry. Thanks for joining us, man. It's always a pleasure. And, of course, L.W. Marshall, thank you so much. Again, also, never forget, there was a massive tragedy that took place on American soil 24 years ago, and the scars of it still walk around today. We know many people who were personally affected. One of those people is an adjunct member of the West Virginia House Rangers Collective. Mr. Glenn Adkins was a first responder who went up and he worked ground zero. So Glenn Adkins, we love you, buddy. Hope you're out there enjoying tonight and just taking a load off and getting some rest. And just know we're always thinking of you, pal.
Sure, let's send out some multiple blessings for everybody.
Absolutely. Watch your files. Thank you. Good to see you here tonight. There's Jamie. Then we've got Keller in the house. Looking forward to some UFO stuff.
Oh, we got it.
Seth is in the house. By the way, he's got some cool Mothman flash you guys might want to check out. Go Dot, what's up? We got Nikki Bennett. Nikki,
hey.
Nikki, it is so good to see you. L.R. Miller, how you doing? Glad to have you. Thanks for doing your part, keeping it free for eons and eons to come. You guys are awesome. Then here we go. The mini blessings.
What's it going to be?
We're going to, if I could find them, we're going to start it off right. And because it is the season of the moth,
Speaking of the season of the moth, it's only 1 week, Joe. And boy, do we have some stuff ready for those folks down there. It's going to be pretty incredible. I've worked on a new presentation specifically just for the data that was collected in that region. And man, it's something.
It is exclusive boots on the ground research, all information that was recorded and captured from Point Pleasant, validating that the action never stopped. It just
Something happened. Something happened and still is. That's what it says. So as soon as we get done with the Mothman thing, that's when you're going to see the brand new stuff start kicking off over here.
Right.
So get ready for it. We've little hints have already been dropped. Someone's got to figure this name out by now, right, Joe? I mean, come on. You guys figured out
Lewis many times.
Yeah.
Are we going to announce it? We're going to announce the name of the new series at Mothman Festival?
We might do that.
We should.
Do you think we should
announce it at Mothman Festival?
How about you people? What do you think? You think we should announce the new series during the presentation Mothman Festival? Make it official. I mean, most people have already figured it out, by now I would have thought, but
right. You would have thought. So they're putting it together here and there,
but kind of like the UFO UAP thing, right? It's the whole thing.
Right.
You gotta drop the little crumbs.
Jamie Snell, what's Mothman Festival?
Right. I don't know. It's something about a moth, a man. They have a big festival, dude.
Well, guys, speaking of the Mothman Festival, you guys have been seeing pictures that Ron's been posting up of some of the artwork he's been working on. I got some stuff I'm going to show you tonight.
Oh boy,
he's been working on over here.
He's my favorite.
Look who's back.
He's back. Do those eyes hit the black light?
Oh, absolutely, they do.
Yeah, that's the thing,
Look
guys.
who's back.
Oh, that's my favorite. That was one of the coolest ones.
This one's a really good one, but look who's back.
Oh crap. No, that was no. Well, I'm kind of biased on that one because
that's the first one that we ran for the first 2 years. And that is the original Mothman Mini back in production once again.
First time.
I surprised Ron with that one. Ron didn't know that I was putting those back out there.
No idea. These were so popular. There's thousands and thousands.
Literally thousands of those.
Yeah, it's amazing.
These two right here. There are more of these and the Bigfoot keychains out there than anything else that we've ever produced.
I think so, yeah.
Literally thousands and thousands. The number of keychains we kept track of for a while, and we were at 11,000 keychains.
Yeah.
And now, mind you, that's 11,000, but it's across like 8 different designs.
Yes.
But we had 7,000 of the Mothman minis out there.
We know that because, painting them.
Yeah, painting them. Like a lot of them were wholesale, so we kept them in order and kept them on track, and it was all record,
Yeah.
And then we had of this one, there's over 3,000 of these that were out.
Yeah, those are fun.
Now this one, if you got one of these, you're one of the lucky ones. There's only I think 150, 200 of those that have been made yet.
It's
and then there's going to be another round of about probably 100 or so.
That is a beautiful sculpt. I have mine. He stands right here.
The original. That's the very first one.
This is 000.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's actually the master. If we ever needed to make like a brand new original mold off of the master, that's the master. So
yeah, he's always there. I love that thing.
Gary Schuler, thank you, brother.
Drones
like light the model.
All
thank
right.
You.
All right. All right, we got some folks that have dropped in here. Let's get those.
Man, I bought the last one on your table at Mothman Festival 2018. That is awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome. That was the first year that they were out.
Yeah.
And
well, people learned to get them fast. I mean,
they did.
They learned really quick.
And now I haven't shown you the special editions. There will be a special edition, a festival edition of each one of these. And those will be extremely limited. They're only going to be, I think, 15 of each one.
Yep. Hold off on that. They got to stick around.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to see those until the day before the festival.
All right. So let's kick this thing off. We got a lot to go over. And I do.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I stayed up to 2:00 last night putting this stuff together. We're going to go over this. Okay. Whether you like it or not. class is in session.
You
Now,
have no choice.
there's a lot to go over for real. We're going to go over the hearing and whatnot, but you know what? We're going to go over first. We're going to go over something that, for whatever reason, no one's really talking about this either, Joe. Why? What's going on? What's the big major discovery? I believe it
Well,
had something to do with. Let me see if I can find a picture here real quick.
yeah, go ahead and grab it, because it was a
yeah.
very groundbreaking, like literally groundbreaking. This is not
Groundbreaking is the word I'd use. Yeah,
it's earth-shattering news, but due to other things that have been rampant this week, it got buried. And
I can understand, but
yeah, it makes sense. We get it.
It's a pretty big thing.
It's a pretty big thing, and I hope it doesn't go away.
No,
but you're going to hear about it here.
No, it can't go away. There's just too much here as far as it goes. Where is the image? Because they've already done it, guys. No, I'm kidding.
It's already been scrubbed.
No, it's here. It's here. All right. So here you go. And for those who didn't see it, I'm going to go ahead and put this down right here. And we go. I'm trying to learn our new system.
Yeah, the dashboard has changed.
There we go. Hey, Ashley's here. Ash. So NASA apparently, discovered the potential biosignature for life on Mars last year, right, Joe?
Absolutely. And we heard about this. We did briefly talk about it, but back then, when it first came out, that it was like
they played it down.
Really? They played it down. They said it could be. We think it might be, but we don't know. We haven't had a chance to run any labs on it yet.
Yep.
Well,
they did.
There have now been labs ran. The combination of chemical compounds we found in the Bright Angel Formation could have been a rich source of energy for microbial metabolisms, said the Perseverance scientist Joel Hurwitz of Stony Brook University, New York, lead author of the paper. But just because we saw these things compelling, these chemical signatures in the data, didn't mean we had potential biosignature. We needed to analyze what that data could mean. It's been about 6 or 8 months ago.
Yeah.
First, we had to collect the data on this rock. Then, while investigating the Shaiva Falls, an arrowhead-shaped rock measuring 3.2 feet by 2 feet, 1 meter by 0.6 meters, they found what appeared to be colorful spots. The spots on the rock could have been left behind by microbial life if it had used the raw ingredients, the organic carbon, sulfur, and phosphorus as an energy source. This happens here on this planet. We see it all the time. I actually bought a couple pieces for our walkway out front from Home Depot. Home Depot got in slabs of sandstone. And I'm sure some of you guys have seen these slabs of sandstone that are kind of stratified. They have these evidence of microbial life throughout them. This is basically what they found.
Yeah. But it's not just that, Joe. Let's not downplay exactly what this is. There's several things here that go hand in hand with what happened this week at the UAP or UFO, whatever we call it, hearing. We're going to call it UFO hearing now. It's officially UFOs. We're back to that. Sorry. If you don't like it, that's just tough. When it's UAP, we're just going to call them COPs from now on. But UFOs. All right. So if you remember, and we're going to play it in a little bit, one of the things that was noted by one of the witnesses was that this is what you have to do to prove, something's extraterrestrial, right? So it's literally the same thing that they did. Literally is the same thing that they did with this. They had to go to the planet and they had to get the material, run the test, but they ran the planet, the test on the planet. So it wasn't that hard. It looks like this might be the real thing. It's still got to go under peer review. It's still got to go under a few more things. They're still trying to rule it out because that's what we do.
Right. You have to. Scientifically, you have to do that. And you got to remember, this is a lab that is a micro lab, essentially. It is built into the rover. This isn't like they're transporting the materials back here. They're actually having to run specimen samples inside the cavity of the rover. So it takes a little bit of time, and then it has to relay all that information back to Earth. So, we just have to wait. This is just what we have to do.
So we're going to wait. And, eventually, probably within the next year or so, we're going to have hard confirmation, just like we called it years ago, of past life. Call it, what's it called? They said ancient.
Ancient.
They said ancient life, by the way.
They did.
So
Ancient
this is
life, which
ancient Martian,
definition.
ancient alien life forms. Folks, if this turns out to be true, I know a certain long-haired gentleman who's going to be doing cartwheels.
Right.
This is the truth. That is the realization as to what this could mean. Ancient alien life. And I'm only going to touch on this very shortly, but anyone who knows the whole story of the CIA Stargate program already knows where we're thinking about this. Was it a coincidence, Joe, that we got this announcement one day, not even a day, not really a full day, after the most productive UFO hearing ever?
Let's get the terminology right, Ron.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We were calling them UFOs this round. We called them UFOs during this hearing because essentially, I think that's really truly what this one was about. These objects that they were dealing with and talking about during this hearing were actually flying objects. They weren't lights in the sky. They were physical craft.
No, I'm agreeing with you 100% on that. What we saw in those clips were solid. This would be what we would call a subject A type material, right? So that's where we are with this. And now, you know what, guys? We're going to start looking at this stuff. Yes, Joe McMoneagle absolutely did. Indeed, 1 million years
Joe
ago.
McMonagle's probably like, I told you so.
Told you so. That's the new shirt. We're gonna have to do that one too.
We have the Bob one. Now we need a Joe McMoneagle one.
I think we need all. We need Bob. We need Giorgio, and we need Joe. And then we need us.
Right. We do need us, and we're going to talk about why we need us momentarily once we start to review some of this footage.
Does anyone really need us? I don't think so. But anyway, whether they need us or not, we're here. And we're going to do this thing because it's just what we do. So, guys, let's get started with this really, really fast. And yes, post your questions as we're going through this. Ask your questions as always, and we will divert and answer those questions as fast as we possibly can. Run through these things. Anything you see, pop them up. And here we go. This is for I guess it's our own little version of Citizens for UFO secrecy, right? So anyway, here we go. We're going to do it. Yeah, Bob was dropped, and you're going to get to hear all that. For you folks who didn't watch the 3 hours, well, guess what? We did.
We did twice.
We did. Oh,
if not more.
I was going to say, yeah, I've seen it more. I could probably do this whole thing as a play right now. Right. But anyway, we're going to start. And here's the deal, guys. There's going to be people here you don't like. That doesn't matter. We don't care. That does nothing to do with this.
It's all about the information.
This is about the information. So I've filtered through as much as I could, and we're trying to stay just with the data, and just doing that. That's over 50 clips, just to let you know right up front.
So we probably won't make it through it all, but we're going to try.
No, we're going to try. So here we go. Starting out with the introduction, and I'm putting the introduction in here just because of what was said at the introduction. And I think that set the tone for what this was.
Congress tried to create formal channels through the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, also known as AARO, and the Intelligence Community Inspector General for service members and officials to make disclosures. But the reality, the reports come in are often to brush aside, slow-walked, or met with skepticism rather than serious investigation. Recently, the former AARO director, known as Sean Kilpatrick, attacked our witnesses and members on this committee. It should be noted that he's a documented liar and...
Okay.
So I'm gonna let me just visually give you a representation here
of what we were doing when that came through. That was just, I mean, when I heard that, I was like, oh, we're going places we ain't gone before. All right.
Right.
So
there were shots fired.
There really was. It was like someone locked on. And it continues.
Brings into question what his purpose at AARO really was if it was not to follow up on investigations and disclose his findings to members of Congress.
And that seems to have literally set the bar for what the rest of this would become.
Oh yeah,
so
really did.
Let's go to the next one. You guys feel free, like I said, to go ahead put your 2 cents worth in there, because that's what this is all about. Video file. Here we go. It keeps closing my clips out. Don't do that. This is difficult enough. All
Former
right.
Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Chris Mellon described a report published by AARO that found no evidence that any USG investigation, academic-sponsored research, or official review panel has confirmed any sighting of UAP-represented extraterrestrial technology. As the most error-ridden and unsatisfactory government report I can recall reading during after decades of government service. Mellon further noted that this was a first error report submitted to Congress without the Director of National Intelligence's sign-off, and seemingly excluded input from any scholars or experts who have studied or written extensively about this topic, as would normally be in any other case in this field. Mellon determined that this report failed to fulfill the congressional mandate under which it was required, omitted entire agencies with known investigations or activities related to UAPs, and omitted any discussion of efforts to hide classified or unclassified information about UAP.
Okay, so first of all, you hear the little ding in the background? That's Joe back there interrupting me while I'm trying to record this thing live. And I'm like, I had to go shut him down and go into silent mode and start texting over on the phone at that point.
She just went into a beat the squatch out of it mode, and I'm so happy.
Yeah. You were pretty happy about that. I know.
Yep.
And it was it was very historic in my opinion. I think that was something that we needed to hear. Because we do know that AARO did obfuscate the truth, and they did change the truth, and they did do these other things. They ignored people completely, and we knew this, but now we really know it because we got to hear from firsthand witnesses who pretty much said that's what happened. So let us continue.
In recent months, Congress has also been presented with evidence that points to technologies that, to our knowledge, are beyond our current capabilities. It is our duty as elected representatives to follow the facts wherever they lead, and to ensure that those facts are not buried under classification stamps or bureaucratic excuses. Let me be clear, whether UAPs represent adversarial technology, natural phenomena, or something beyond current human understanding, Congress has a responsibility to investigate. If these objects are foreign in origin, then they pose a direct threat to our national security. And if they represent something unknown, they demand rigorous scientific inquiry, not ridicule, not secrecy, and not silence. The stakes are very high.
Would you agree with that the stakes are very high?
Extremely. Because we're dealing essentially with the validity that one, there is a technology out there that we just can't keep up with. And two, there is an absolutely absurd amount of suppression. Absolutely absurd amount of suppression.
I'm going to go a little bit further because as we're going to, George Knapp's going to address this later, but it's pretty blatantly clear that there is an arms race going on here, that they are trying to get this material. They're trying to reverse engineer this material, it seems. And whoever does this is the prize. Okay, guys, this is the prize. But the prize is that we all lose when the prize is gotten. That's the prize. Okay. So you have to really think about this. You're talking about a technology theoretically here, right? That can change the world or destroy the world, right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. This technology, if it is what we think it is and what is being postulated about it, would be 0 point energy. Whoever has that and has control of that literally controls everything. They get to choose the narrative. They get to choose what history says, because you'll have no other choice, because that kind of power is unprecedented. And we have no idea what the capabilities of it are, because we have yet to even fathom the possibilities of being able to control it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to continue on, but yeah, keep that in the back of your mind as we're listening to this stuff. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah.
NW Hall explains why we are such advocates for Team Big Rock.
Right.
Because knowing humanity, we will destroy the world with it. If
no, it's a fact. It's a complete fact. There was only one person on the panel who really seem to be very skeptical of the whole thing. I'm not even going to play that. You guys, I'm going to put the link in. You can go watch it. It's in the very first. And there's no reason to give this any credibility at this point, because it's not, it's not swamp gas. It's not balloons, though some still think it is. It's not, these explainable things. There is something happening here. It is undeniable now. And to say otherwise is to discredit every person who came forward to do this. And it also discredits the witnesses at this point. Now the burden of proof, as Joe likes to say, has been put up on the naysayers and the skeptics. You're going to have to prove that that's not what this is now.
Oh, absolutely. Because the data, all the data, even the government's suppressed data that has been released, and even every ounce of freelance data, it all indicates that there is something there. We don't know what that something is. I'm quite confident that it's not adversarial, at least not on this planet.
Agreed.
But we're looking at something that is mind-boggling.
Oh,
and if even if we just had our data set alone, we know there's something there.
We know there's something there. And this, for those who are familiar with our work, keep watching.
My name is Jeffrey NEWSNATION. I'm
Whoops, where's he at?
a military police officer with 16 years of active duty service in the U.S. Air Force. I'm here today because the American people have both the right and the responsibility to know the truth about unidentified aerial phenomenon. That truth remains hidden, classified, and silenced by fear, retaliation, stigma, and confusion.
Okay. That's a fact. It is. Ridicule, fear, and confusion. Now we see this repeated right here in our own community. When someone comes forward with a, with something that can't be, you're delusional. You're on something.
The only difference is when you're saying it on social media, there's no major implications. These gentlemen, however, when they say it,
we're going to get to the implications. I want people to hear the implications who didn't watch this. For those who are asking, I think Matt was asking, how can we trust them? We can't trust anyone, Matt. Let's be real. We can't trust anyone. And for me to say, oh, we can trust them because they're on TV or because they're in front of Congress. No, but I can say that if they're lying about this, we're in some serious trouble.
Right.
Because we have been sold at this point on people whose lives have literally been torn apart. We know that they have gone after people in the past, and there's some validation here on that stuff. These people don't have anything left to lose at this point. So I that's one of the reasons I believe them. Now we're going to get into stuff with Knapp a little bit later, and we can debate that. But as far as it goes with NEWSNATION and Borland, pay attention to what these guys are saying. I do not at this time think that they're being anything but sincere.
Hold on, wait.
Okay,
hang on. Can we trust them to use these systems until it's UAP? Then suddenly they're not trustworthy.
Oh no, we can't. We'll get into that speculation on that, Matt. Trust me, we'll get into speculation on that in just a little bit. That's a can of worms. That's a total can of worms.
Oz, you're exactly right. Some of these guys, they don't have anything to lose other than their career, and they're not making money off this.
No. So anyone who wants to call them grifters, no, I know none of our group does that. So
no, they don't.
We look, guys, I want to tell you what, I'm looking out there right now. There's 48 people watching. Some of you we've known pretty much forever. The new guys, please hit the subscribe.
Actually, and also aside from subscribe, there's now a new feature. You can actually give a boost to content that you think is worthy. If you slide to the right of the comment section, there is a promote button that gives you the power to boost out our feed even further just by hitting it. It looks like a shooting star and with rockets in the background. If you hit it and you promote it, it costs you nothing. It doesn't cost you a penny, but to slide over and hype it. That's right, Incredible. You got it, Octoman. That's right. It's called hyping it.
Hype it. Okay.
If
All
you
right.
slide over away from the comments for just a moment, hit that hype button, and it is going to push this out to other people because it's showing that this isn't just good quality content with good video quality, but you're actually enjoying what you're hearing and you're being engaged with, and that they're going over something that's important.
Oh, it's very important. And just, how it's important to you is how it's important to you. How it resonates with you is how it resonates with you. It's not how someone tells you it should. It's how it resonates with you. Now, we're going to speak up on, ourselves because we've seen where this data, if you've been watching on the show from day one, this is where we're going. We're there. This is the final phase. We've been through the final phase. This is literally post-disclosure. And
okay, so that real quick, they're bringing it up that you can't hype it while it's live.
Okay.
So, but as soon as it goes off live,
you know what to do
and hit it.
You know what to do, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
All right, go ahead, Ron.
Here we go. We're going to watch the rest of this introduction here.
Five UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base, home to the National Missile Defense Project, a top national security priority. At the time, we were conducting launches deemed by the National Reconnaissance Office as the most important in 25 years. These were historic launches.
My next question would actually be for Mr. Graves. Can you please explain to me in detail the event?
Now, I want to let you all know that is from the 2023 hearing because I have all of these recorded because that's what you do. And I went through and found this. This is where it was first brought up. So take a listen to this.
That occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Certainly. In the 2003 timeframe, a large group of Boeing contractors were operating near one of the launch facilities at Vandenberg Air Force Base when they observed a very large 100-yard sided red square approach the base from the ocean and hover at low altitude over one of the launch facilities. This object remained for about 45 seconds or so before darting off over the mountains.
These facilities were vital, and they were repeatedly visited by UAP. Each incident was witnessed by multiple personnel.
There was a similar event within 24 hours later in the evening. This was a morning event, I believe 8:45 in the morning. Later in the evening, post-sunset, there were reports of other sightings on base, including some aggressive behaviors. These objects were approaching some of the security guards at rapid speeds before darting off. And this is information that was received through one of the witnesses that have approached me at Americans for Safe Aerospace.
Was this documented in any official form, whether it was a police blotter?
Yes, they had official documentation and records from the event that the witness held over the years.
Documented, investigated, and reported up the chain of command. We sent information up, but we got no guidance down on how to handle these events. I personally witnessed one of these events and investigated others as they occurred. 6 other service members have provided me with the information that I will share with you today.
Now, before we go any further, there's some validation for you right there that this has been a long time coming. And that's, that's pretty much what that was for. I cut that up just to let you guys see it.
And Nucatelli was who came forward. He was the witness that came to Graves. And this is finally getting out where they brought him in to give the firsthand account.
Yeah, because they kept asking for people who had firsthand accounts and nobody would come forward, right? So here's your firsthand report. This is, I want to make sure I got this one right. Yeah, this is the report. All right, here's the report.
Personally witnessed one of these events and investigated others as they occurred. 6 other service members have provided me with the information that I will share with you today. The incursions began on October 14th, 2003, when Boeing contractors reported a massive glowing red square silently hovering over 2 missile defense sites. After several minutes, it drifted further east onto the base and vanished over the hills. This event, now known as the Vandenberg Red Square, was referenced by Representative Luna at the first hearing on this topic. Official Air Force records of this event are in possession by AARO and the FBI.
Where are they at? Where are they at? Yeah, exactly. The next report.
Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed.
She's moving.
Record it.
Yep, I've got him.
Good
He just
job.
buzzed by an aircraft that mocked Jesus.
That is
Later
the
that
word that he
night-
was trying to use at impossible
It was.
speed.
He's just not privy to the proper
he's-
lexicon.
Right, that's what that was.
We gotta
While I
get
was
a
on
hold of
duty,
Mr. Newsatelli and learn.
Security
him good.
guards at a critical launch site reported
Oops, sorry. Got to remove that one. Next up is his other report. These just get better, by the way.
At night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright,
Wait, no.
fast-moving
Not that one. I got to try to keep up with these things. I got them in order, but it's hard to see them. I think was that 7 or 8? Yeah, it's this one. 8.
About a week later, another patrol reported a light over the ocean behaving erratically. Believing it might be an unannounced aircraft, they declared an emergency, and an armed response force responded. Before the forces could arrive, the object descended and either landed or hovered on our flight line, and then took off again at impossible speed.
There it is again. Impossible speed. Impossible speed comes up a lot. That's why I wanted to put that in there.
Enzo does have a good point. He's retired security forces. He's not a UFO scientist, so we need to cut him some slack.
Oh yeah,
on
that's
the
right.
lexicon.
That's right.
A week later,
That's a good
another
callback.
patrol reported a light over the ocean behaving erratically. Believing it might be an unannounced aircraft, they declared an emergency.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Let me move him out again. All right. I think that might be all of his for right now. Let me check. There's a telly 9, 10. Is that 10? That might be 10.
Witnesses to this event were
Nope.
threatened and intimidated
There it is.
afterward. They were told to keep quiet and think about what they were reporting. After that, things did get quiet until about 2005, when another patrol reported a massive triangular craft larger than a C-130 silently floating over the installation. He watched it for a few minutes. It traveled west and disappeared into the night. And then I had my own encounter, again in 2005.
Now I want you guys to listen to this. And I want you to listen really close to what he gets right, what he's going to say right here.
I was off duty, sitting in my backyard with 2 other police officers when we noticed what first appeared to be a satellite in orbit, but it wasn't acting like a satellite. The light was strange, it was pulsing, and then it started to maneuver. It dropped in elevation. At times it would vanish from view and reappear in a different location in the sky, and eventually it reappeared 200 feet over my house. It was a 30-foot diameter sphere of light. My friends and I watched it for a moment, and then it gently accelerated and traveled up and disappeared into the stars.
Questions, comments? The floor is open on that one. Just
Everybody's blown it up
in.
with the Spaceballs references, and I love it.
I like that too.
It went
I like-
plaid.
It did. It did.
Now, do you have the map of Vandenberg that I sent you?
Of course I don't.
Oh,
That's on your end. But either way, I'm not done yet. So hold on to it. We're almost done with Newsatelli's. But this is, he
These
says
events
something.
profoundly changed my life and the lives of my friends. We stand at a pivotal moment in history. The question is no longer whether these events are real, but whether we have the courage to face them.
So the question here, well, not question, but the comment here, Joe, is that we have someone who witnessed this stuff, and then it kind of it witnessed him. It came to him
Right.
after, they know, and he's going to talk about that in a little bit. That's what gets really great about this. Like during the questioning, you're going to hear that. Do we have any comments that need to be started up here real quick before I go to the next?
I've got a few
witness?
start
Go
up in
ahead.
there.
Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and
We've
do that.
got Matt Carter said they need to start subpoenaing these alleged gatekeepers like Lakatsky, et cetera, and come in front of Congress and tell them what they can. Make Jim say that he was inside of a UFO under oath.
Right. I agree with that. And I think that we're going to see some stuff.
And then he asked again, does anyone know why they destroy police records every 3 years? It seems like a horrible idea. Well,
Right.
I work in state government, and I'm actually a database manager. We get forced due to space. Mind you, the agency I work in, we have 17,500 and give or take active licenses,
Right.
50,000 plus total. And these are for contractors. Each one of those licenses have around between 14 and 30 pages. That's a lot of data.
Right.
And we're forced to clear up server space periodically. I know other agencies have the same kind of situation that they have to deal with. So, it is a thing. And then we got Gerard Folio. What's going on, brother? Good to see you back in here tonight. Thank you.
I'm on the wrong side, and now I don't know my orientation. He's over there. Gerard, thank you.
We appreciate you.
And for you new folks who don't know what that was, that's an alien waving a flag.
It is.
It's just that simple.
It is indeed.
No, those are our blessings that we give out to folks who always support our work and our whatever it is we do, research and the work and the going out on the road and making sure that we meet with people and talk to people and try to get this stuff out there.
Yeah,
there's a lot to it. And we can't do it without those folks. So thank you. Multiple thank yous and multiple blessings, digital and otherwise. Let's go to Chief Wiggins.
Alexandra Wiggins. I'm
Whoop. Where's he at? Chief Wiggins disappeared.
the U.S. Navy Operations Specialist, Senior Chief Petty Officer.
Hold up. We got a blessing over here. Nancy White.
Thank you, Nancy.
Multiple blessings. We'll send out the blessings as soon as these are done.
Father of three and dedicated American testifying today in my personal capacity. The views I share are my own, and I do not represent the official positions of the Department of the Navy or any subordinate organization. My name is Alexandra Wiggins.
I want to stop that right there for just a second, because we heard that multiple times, right, Joe? And we talked about that.
We did.
That disclaimer that they put in there, but he's active.
Yeah, he's still active right now. Like he is not in uniform because he is not representing the U.S. Navy.
Right.
He is representing himself and his account. So he is not in uniform, but he is still a current chief.
And he is very much careful with how he answers things and says things. And you will see that.
Yeah.
U.S. Navy Operations Specialist, Senior Chief Petty Officer. Father of three and dedicated American testifying today in my personal capacity. The views I share are my own, and I do not represent the official positions of the Department of the Navy or any subordinate organization.
Oh, sorry. We didn't have to watch that again. I thought he was going to say more. That's my fault. There's a lot of clips, guys. Bear with me.
There's a lot here.
Oh, it's a lot.
Alexandra Wiggins. I'm an active duty
Is that the
U.S.
one?
Navy Operations Specialist,
Let me
Senior
see.
Chief Petty Officer. Father of 3 and dedicated American testifying today.
No, that is not it.
Father of 3 and dedicated American.
Well, this is a train wreck. Hang on. I thought that was 11. Someone help me keep track of these things. Let's go to 12 and see if that's it. Or if I just...
Alexandra Wiggins.
No,
I'm an
apparently
active duty-
I completely just recorded over top of 12.
Oh, man.
But, you know, I mean, I almost fell asleep doing it. So there's a possibility I did.
On the evening of February 15th,
There we go.
2023,
13.
at approximately 19:15 PST, in the Whiskey 291 warning area off the coast of Southern California, I was serving on board USS Jackson. During that period, I moved between the Interior Communications Center, ICC-1, and the bridge wing, correlating the sensor picture with visual observations, part of my routine responsibilities for surface and air picture management. What I observed and what our crew recorded was not consistent with conventional aircraft or drones as they appear on our system. A self-luminous tic-tac shaped object emerged from the ocean before linking up with 3 other similar objects. The 4 then disappeared simultaneously with a high synchronized near instantaneous acceleration.
There's the acceleration again. You're going to hear it over and over again.
I observed no sonic boom and no conventional propulsion signatures. No exhaust plume, no control surface articulation on the Sapphire image system. Shortly after the synchronized departure, radar tracks dropped.
Let me see if I have that. I think I have that video here. So
Okay.
let me go ahead and look for that really quick. Let's see. Is it USS Jackson? Here we go. This is it. So what you're seeing here, you're going to see the target. You'll zoom in on the target. It is a tic-tac shaped object. Toward the end is where you'll see it move really, really fast. It's in frame, and then it's just like, I don't want to be here. And it's going to be way up to the left. Notice when they try to get that lock on it. See that? You try to get the lock on it, and it's just like, I don't want to be here. It's gone. That was it.
Yeah.
That was a radar track of Mock Jesus, if I ever seen it.
Oh, yeah. It was moving extremely fast. Now, do you want to see that map of Vandenberg?
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is the map of Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, there is a red dot. That's the flight line.
Yep.
Where they saw this thing come down close and land.
Right.
And hover. The blue dot is the mock tower, where it was observed the second time.
Okay.
Now, if you go out, there's a green dot. It's not supposed to be green, but apparently on this screen, it's showing green. It's supposed to be in yellow, but over here, it says Vandenberg Village. It's over on the far right.
Okay. Yeah, I see it down here. It's down in the far right corner, guys.
Vandenberg Village was the third sighting where it was hovering over his home.
Okay.
So these were in relatively close proximity.
Yeah. All general areas, right?
Yes. Now, I'll also have you notice Vandenberg's name is no longer Vandenberg Air Force Base, is it?
Oh, no, it's not.
It was the first to be renamed.
Vandenberg Space Force.
Yes.
What?
Vandenberg
Really?
is now part of Space Command.
Really?
It was always, it always had Space Command there.
Sure,
but
they always
now
did it.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's official. Oh my God.
The Fob Daddy has entered the chat.
Bob? Welcome, Mike.
What is going on, brother? Good to see you.
All right. Well, let's go to our next image file. That's very good, Joe. This would be when they is this Knapp? Maybe. Let me see.
I'm proud to be here alongside these witnesses today, men who have seen strange things and stepped forward to tell the world about it. Whistleblowers and witnesses who step up are routinely insulted, belittled, or worse. They risk their reputations, their careers, their clearances, their livelihoods, and sometimes much more than that, even their freedom. I know that one of the goals of the task force here is to figure out ways to protect whistleblowers and witnesses, and it's a tall order because so many of the things that happen to witnesses like these are extra legal. They're carried out by persons unknown, as Mr. Dave Grush, sitting up at the top of the room, knows all too well, including events in recent days that have happened to him.
No, they talked about that and, hinted toward it, but we don't really know any more than that. I just wanted to put that in there. So we're probably going to hear some more about that in the future, right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, expect that. Expect that.
I would almost bet that that's going to air on Weaponized.
Yeah, I would expect that too. And let's continue on because we got Knapp in the house and he's in the house for a little bit here.
The public has been told over and over since the late 40s, there's nothing to worry about here. These mysterious craft seen by millions of people in the skies, in the oceans, over the land are not real. They're not a threat. The witnesses are wrong. They're crackpots. Don't believe it. That changed for me. What got me hooked is the paper trail. Documents that were squeezed out of the U.S. government after the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, became the law of the land. And those documents paint a much different picture than what the public, the press, and Congress have been told over many years.
Oh, he's got that right.
Yeah.
He's got that right.
Right.
And, he's not done yet, guys, because here's what you've been waiting for.
In 1989, I reported about a guy named Bob Lazar, who claimed that he worked at a facility dubbed S4 out in
You're going to like this. I did a little editing.
the Nevada desert, very near to Area 51. He said he was part of a reverse engineering program. He said there are alien craft that will be taken apart to figure out how they operated out there.
We've been working on this story for a long time, and we'll tell you right up front that it's going to be hard to swallow at first. This week, we've heard the contention of UFO researchers that there's a secret
Look how young he was.
Right.
Just look at that.
government within our government. While that may be hard to believe coming from the UFO perspective, we've certainly learned in Watergate and the Iran-Contra scandal that factions within our government can and do pursue their own hidden agendas outside of the law, outside the control of Congress, or the knowledge of the American people. This is exactly the type of operation we'll hear about tonight. It's a chilling scenario with worldwide implications that may have its roots right here. Speculation was heightened in 1984 when the Air Force seized nearly 90,000 acres around Groom Lake. The action was, by most accounts, illegal. During congressional hearings about the land grab, Congressman John Seiberling grilled the military about the legal authority used in the action and was told the authority was at a much, much higher level than the Air Force. Seiberling asked what authority is higher than the laws of the United States. The Air Force official said he could respond, but only in a closed briefing.
We call those skiffs now.
Does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah. Does that not sound familiar? This is the same playbook. That's why when people look at us and they're like, well, how did you know that was going to happen? Because it's the same playbook. It's
History
always the
repeats
same.
itself.
History is a cyclical. Yeah, it's an Ouroboros. That's exactly what it is. Here you go. Check this little bit of history out.
The live interview with the shadowy Dennis drew international attention. Portions were broadcast by radio in 6 European countries and in a nationally televised TV special in Japan. Despite numerous inquiries and feelers, Dennis has remained anonymous until now. His real name is Robert Lazar, a young scientist with eclectic interests. The choice of Dennis was an inside joke. He says that's the name of his superior at Groom Lake. It wasn't a joke to Dennis.
He called right after and he said, do you have any idea what we're going to do to you now? And I said, well, no. He hung up the phone.
But in the years since then, I've interviewed dozens of other people, and I've detailed what their testimony has been in the written statement. They include Senator Harry Reid, Senator Howard Cannon, also of Nevada, a guy named Al O'Donnell, who was the first general manager of EG&G in Nevada, which managed the Nevada test site, which blew up hundreds of nuclear weapons. There's a guy named Dr. James Lukatsky, who was a career scientist with the Defense Intelligence Agency, who was the guy who initiated a program called AAATIP, Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program, which is, as far as we know, the largest acknowledged UFO program ever funded by the U.S. government, which put together an amazing pile of information that members of this committee and the world most of which they have never seen. The DIA still hasn't released 95% of what was prepared by that program at a cost of millions and millions of dollars.
95% never seen. I want you all just to think about that for 1 second. 95% never seen.
Those are your tax dollars, folks.
95% of it never seen. Yeah, just wizard, just whoop, gone. Wizarded away, turned into magic dust or smoke or something, apparently. Let's see. Knapp, Lazar. Okay, it's this one. So he brought up AARO, and he brings it up again. And this gets pretty good.
One name I do want to bring up in this session, though, is Robert Bigelow. So looking into the idea of crash retrievals and reverse engineering, while AARO, that program, was active, the DIA's contractor, Robert Bigelow of Las Vegas, made a bold attempt to acquire physical proof of UFO crashes. It's been widely reported and suspected that Lockheed Martin is one of the contractors, the defense contractors, that has held this stuff, stored it away in secrecy, and tried to figure out how it works. I have confirmed on the record that Robert Bigelow and a trusted colleague from AARO met with and negotiated with senior executives at Lockheed Martin and hammered out a deal wherein Bigelow's company, Bass, would receive a quantity of unusual material that had been stashed away and protected at a facility in California. That material was not made here.
That material was not made here.
Maybe similar to some ceramics.
I don't know. I'm just saying that material was not made here.
Bob Bigelow might have owned the property that they were buried on.
He might have. He could have, and they could have buried the whole thing in a mesa, when they collapsed it on top of the whole thing. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Saying it's possible. We need to definitely keep an eye on things, because history has a very, very nasty habit of being dug up from time to time.
In the early 90s, I got into Russia, met with a number of their defense officials, Ministry of Defense and others, who confirmed for me that Russia had been doing the same thing the United States had been doing, that is, secretly studying UFOs while publicly saying something completely different. The documents and interviews that I obtained and have now shared with this task force show that the USSR launched what is almost certainly the largest UFO UAP investigation in the world. The first phase of that was an order was sent out to the entire USSR military empire that every unit, you see anything strange in the sky, a craft, an orb, something unusual, you had to gather all the evidence, collect testimony from the witnesses, look for physical evidence, and all of that information went into one program at the Ministry of Defense. Thousands and thousands of these reports came in. A lot of them were first routed to the KGB, but then back to another program that came after this collection effort called Thread 3. And Thread 3 was an analysis program. We have provided to the committee the documents of what they were trying to do, and essentially they were trying to build their own UFOs.
I mean, we learned it from someone.
That's right.
Go ahead and hit some of these comments while I get the other one.
Jen says, make sure to hit that like button and follow
you,
us and all that good stuff tonight. Thanks, Jen, for reminding us, because we were carried away. Keller says, is this a call out, or is he positioning Bigelow to be a disclosure hero?
You're actually going to hear a little bit, if you pay attention to what he says later on, when they're talking about, I think it's Lockheed. He doesn't say Bigelow, but he says, something like these people might want a way out. So we've always said that Bigelow isn't, he's not talking because he doesn't want to talk.
Right.
I don't think that at all.
Because he goes on Gaia, for God's sake.
I don't think he's talking, he's being quiet because he doesn't want anyone to know the secret of Skinwalker Ranch. I think that he can't tell the secret of Skinwalker Ranch. That's what I think. But that's just me, and we're going to find out. Time will tell, But let's move on. This is Borland, and I want you guys to pay attention to this guy.
Jen says, now we know what's going on underground at the ranch. There's UFOs buried out there.
I mean, there could be.
Very possible.
Very possible. Very, very possible that there's something that's
they are not up yet. I mean, that was about a 300+ page document. It's got to get scanned in and uploaded. It's going to take a minute. I'd say probably next week, realistically, because they're going to have to also pilfer through that to make sure that there's nothing that needs to be redacted for national security sake.
Yeah.
A federal whistleblower, having testified to both the ICIG and AARO with direct firsthand knowledge of.
Uh-oh. What?
I'm a federal whistleblower, having testified to both.
Oh, wait. No. This is probably when I fell asleep. Hang on. I'll get that for you. This is Borland. So let's just go to his sighting, because apparently I messed that one up.
Federal whistleblower, having testified
Maybe
to
not.
both the ICIG and AARO with direct firsthand knowledge of and experience with craft and technologies that are not ours and are reportedly operating without congressional oversight. Because of my direct knowledge of the reality of certain legacy UAP programs, my professional career was deliberately obstructed, and I have endured sustained reprisals from government agencies for over a decade. From 2011 to 2013, I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia, conducting 24-hour operations via manned and unmanned aerial vehicles for Special Operations Forces in the global war on terror. During the summer of 2012, my team was on standby for weather, and I returned to my barracks on base, and at approximately 0130, I saw an approximately 100-foot equilateral triangle take off from near the NASA hangar on the base.
Okay, so really quick, he saw that from a NASA hangar. I just want to enter that in for the record, because no one's talking about this.
No.
There are pieces of this that people are just glossing over. That's one of the things that they just glossed over. Saw it at a NASA hangar. Keep in mind what happened less than 24 hours after this. All this stuff is, you'll figure it out. All right, well, number 20, or somebody remember that for me and help me.
Craft interfere with my telephone, did not have any sound, and the material it was made of appeared fluid or dynamic.
Again, no one is talking about this, and I don't understand why, based upon the video that's been shown multiple times. And oh, yes, my friends, we are going to look at that video very closely here in just a little bit. Let's carry on.
I was under this triangular craft for a few minutes, and then it rapidly ascended to commercial jet level in seconds, displaying zero kinetic disturbance, sound, or wind displacement. Some years after that experience, I was further exposed to classified information from the UAP legacy crash retrieval program through a sensitive position I held within a special access program. During this time, intelligence officers approached me in fear for their own careers, citing misconduct within these programs and similar retaliation that I was already enduring at this time. These issues include medical malpractice committed by Veterans Affairs staff, denial of work I performed while enlisted in the United States Air Force, forged and manipulated employment documents, workplace harassment, including colleagues being directed to not speak with me, manipulation of my security clearance by certain agencies, blocking, delaying, and ultimately removing my ability to be employed within the IC.
Now, that's a pretty big list of...
Well, right before we go any further, I want to address two things here.
Go ahead.
Matt brought up that he changes the story. First, he says near, and then he says from later. There are certain characteristics you need to look at with this gentleman. Okay. One, listen to his voice. He is not comfortable in the slightest.
Oh, he's terrified.
He is also moving quite a bit. He is in a suit that does not fit him. So he's also not comfortable in the clothes he's in. He's sweating profusely. You can see that on his forehead. This is a person under duress.
Oh, 100%.
And he is reading directly right now from a script that he wrote for himself, so that way he didn't fumble and bumble around.
Which had to be approved, by the way.
Yeah, it had to be approved because it gets entered into the record. So he's reading it off that, so that way he doesn't mess up his essentially testimony.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people who are getting hung up on this from and near. At the end of the day, there's not much of a difference. Yes, from means that somehow would have doors opened up and it shot out. But near also implies that it was coming from or to. It's getting down to splitting hairs over a guy who is extremely nervous, who is, like Ron said, fearful for his own life.
He's terrified. You can watch him watch later. I'll point it out and watch some of his body language throughout this. And you're going to see how absolutely terrified this man actually is. I'm amazed that he stood there and did this.
The retaliation I face and the retaliation against individuals I know who worked in these programs is what convinced me in March 2023 to become a whistleblower. I came forward out of concern for people's lives and to ensure I did everything I could to let our elected representatives know the truth about what is really happening in the executive branch.
Which he did. Video.
I would say his blood, Godot or Godot, I don't know how you say it, but he seems unwell somehow physically. And I agree. And duress will do that. It causes your blood pressure to go up. This dude, and I'm not trying to say.
March 2023, I agreed to meet with AARO following the suggestion.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to be crude or silly here, but he's probably got the nervous poops. I would guarantee you that he is clinching right now. And I'm not exaggerating. He is probably that nervous that he is.
He's about ready to throw up. It's one of the, he's going to throw up.
Yeah, he's getting ready to throw up. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, he's not good here. He's not good here. Here's why he's not good, by the way, just to let y'all know.
At the end of March 2023, I agreed to meet with AARO following the suggestion of other federal officials believing it was what our nation required of me. I had reservations with AARO due to assessments they were reporting publicly at the time as a misrepresentation of the truth. Because of these concerns, I did not share sources and methods information in order to protect current and former federal personnel who had firsthand exposure to technologies of unknown origin. I did not want anyone to face further retaliation beyond what they had already endured. And unfortunately, a staff member ended up getting in some trouble because of that.
Now, I want you to notice how he just said that. We don't know what that means. We don't know what getting into some trouble over that means.
But I know for one thing, it wasn't an LOR. He did not get a letter of reprimand over that. There was something, the way that he stopped and paused because he about said it.
Yeah.
And then he realized I'm about to step in it.
Yeah, I can't go there. Yeah. So just keep in mind there's some deep stuff.
Before we hit the next clip,
go ahead.
He brings up another good point.
Go ahead.
Given the proximity of what he witnessed, he should have an MRI. He should be in contact with Gary Nolan, and I'm curious if he has been.
I'm curious as well. I think we're going to hear a lot more about Borland in the future. That's what I think.
Very clear early on during my intake interview, which was video recorded under oath, that the objective was to solely assess how much I know and not move forward with an investigation with new information I provided them. The aftermath of that IG complaint still troubles me to this day.
In other words, they used him for his information to see what he knew.
Since my ICIG complaint, I've been prevented from resuming prior employment and can confirm I'm still blacklisted from certain agencies within the intelligence community. In addition, multiple agencies attempted phishing attacks to assess what I had divulged to the Inspector General, including being asked to disclose details of my ICIG complaint during a CI polygraph for a position unrelated to UFO UAP matters as recently as November 2024. As I sit before you today, I and many other whistleblowers have no job prospects, no foreseeable professional future in a nation every single one of us came forward to defend.
That should make you have a little pause. Is what that should do.
Yeah.
Honestly. That, I don't know. I'm not even going to go into it, but I think you understand.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to get too upset.
On the base, I lived in the barracks. There was a little smoke pit outside. I was there.
So here's his actual
sighting. To the flight line. Yeah. And I see a white light pop up and stop about 100 feet in the air. I thought it was a weather balloon. I've seen tests from there before, weeknight, normal thing, not surprising. I actually finished my cigarette and I began walking up towards the flight line. There is a track, and because I was on 3 months of night work, I would walk the track at night when we were weathered down. And as I began walking towards the light, towards the flight line and the track, The light then flies across the base, across the flight line, and as it flies to me, a triangle manifests around the light. I can't tell you if it's active camouflage. I can't tell you if it appeared around the light, but I can tell you that it was a white light, and then it was a triangle. It stopped about 100 feet in front of me and approximately 100 feet above me. My telephone got extremely hot, completely froze, dead. I remember how thick it was. It was between 1 to 2 stories thick, equilateral triangle. I could never see the top of it, and the edges were 90 degrees. There were.
I want you to take a look during the rest of this segment. Notice he is now reciting something from memory. This is recorded memory that's stuck in his head. He's never going to get it out, ever. This isn't scripted. Now he's speaking slightly more confidently because he's talking about his experience. He's not talking about what Keller brings up here, that this is a testimony of an abuse victim.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're seeing.
And when he is recalling the abuse and going back into that, you notice he withdraws. His shoulders come in. He is withdrawn. He's not looking up. Currently, he's going off. He's off script. He's in his mind reciting his own sighting. The confidence is slowly coming back in because he knows what he saw.
There are 4 lights in total, 1 light on each corner and a larger light in the center, 2 to 3 times the size of the corner lights. But what was really odd was the outside. The best way to describe it is like looking at a James Webb telescope picture where you have the colors and then the black background. So the craft itself was this black metallic flake paint, but on top of the craft was this gold, lava, plasma, some type of fluid going over and around the craft.
Yeah. That totally sounds like ours.
Right. The last time I remember when I was going over the TO manuals for the giant flying equilateral triangles, that was totally there. The lava plasmoids.
About 2 to 3 minutes, and then the center light flashes 2 to 3 times, no sound, immediately shoots up to commercial jet level minimum, in my opinion. And I immediately feel static electricity all over my body, and then I smell the smell of after a thunderstorm or lightning storm.
That's ozone. That's ionizing radiation, and he was exposed to a massive amount of ionizing radiation,
especially if he's smelling the ozone,
and possibly more if it pushed it into in our theory that if you push it past, those nanometers, that you are going to get up into the X-rays, you're going to get up into gamma. And I agree with you.
Absolutely.
He definitely needs to be checked out by.
He was exposed to an extremely high level of radiation, and
one of the two.
Yeah.
Ionizing or non-ionizing, but it was enough to mess the phone up, so it's enough to mess you up. And then
that really strong summer thunderstorm smell gets up to flight level. I'm trying to get my phone reset, and I can only see the center light at this point. If I didn't actually see it take off, I would have thought it was a star. And then
how many times have we been looking at the stars and the star starts to move? We've captured it, by the way. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about something that is indistinguishable from a star from a distance.
Hovers up there, and it begins to slowly move due east out over the Atlantic Ocean. I finally got my phone reset. The entire thing was about, from the time I saw the light pop up near the hangar until it took off out over the ocean, was about 15 minutes.
This was a long duration sighting, and I'm just curious what actually happened. He was by himself, so who knows what happened out there. It's really just, it's hard to say. Let's see, what's this one? Borland. Oh yeah.
I think today there's still an issue, but because people are able to come before you and people are speaking out, I think it has been somewhat less. I would hope, though, that people would, because if this goes back into closed doors, this is going to get really ugly.
I know that's confusing, but I wanted that last part. And what they had asked him was, basically, where does it go from here? Will this help? Blah, blah, blah. Notice that last part where he says right here.
To closed doors, this is going to get really ugly.
We've heard this. This is what has been said, that you're going to do this or it's going to get
Catastrophic
released.
disclosure.
Catastrophic disclosure.
And
On record.
I want you to remember the look on his face when he said that.
Yeah.
He deadlocked with somebody, and that was a look of intent.
100%. That was an absolute promise, is what that was.
Yep.
Let's see. We got our old buddy here.
NW Hall said, I never thought of it, but when I saw the red circle hovering, I smelt the same thing. I never thought of that until now.
Yeah, it's ionizing radiation.
Yeah. And it is
I want
so
to remind
charged.
people too, this thing is an ongoing deal. We're not going to get this overnight. We've been fighting this battle, some of y'all, for 30 years and maybe longer. I hope we just keep focused on what we're trying to get to is total disclosure. We get a little wrapped up in a lot of things, but the government has something and they need to turn it over to us. We pay their dadgum salary, you pay our salary, and you ought to get more out of us than you do. And that's what disgusts me about this whole thing. I think they're just trying to run the clock out on us, really.
No, he's right. That's exactly what you feel at times. It's just like, yeah, eventually we won't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
They'll poke us a little and they'll make jokes to us and try to pull us off the target, but I think we know where we're at, and that's why they're firing at us, because we are over the target.
I think we can relate to that at times.
just a little.
The first question is Mr. Knapp. I recently introduced the UAP Whistleblower Protection Act to help provide whistleblower protection to federal personnel for disclosing the use of federal taxpayer funds to investigate UFOs. I still don't want to say UAPs. How can Congress further increase whistleblower protections?
I think you got to unleash the dogs and go track down the money and where it goes, because a lot of this stuff has been moved out of government.
Sure.
As you know, Rep. Burchett, it's been given to private contractors who've stashed it away. They've had it for so long that there's nobody left inside government, or very few, who know where it is.
And they do that to keep us from FOIA, correct?
Yeah, it's to keep it from FOIA. And I think that the contractors who've had this stuff for a very long time set their own standards about who is allowed to know what. And it's a very small group that ever cracks that. I think Representative Luna has been looking at the use of classifications to hide things. I'm not sure that even this committee getting security clearances that should allow you to see this stuff would allow you to follow where it really goes.
Think about that for just 1 second, what he's saying right there. How deep that actually goes. That's insane.
He is referencing, in my opinion, he's referencing Majestic 12.
Well, whatever they're called in real life, right?
Yeah, whatever the real life
language.
term is.
Yeah.
The people that are looking at it don't even know what they're looking at. I mean, it's gone through so many, since Roswell, for instance. I mean, you think there's nobody even alive that was around any of that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I don't think they've made much progress from the people that I've talked to. I don't think they've made much progress in learning that technology. Might have made some, but you wonder, the implication is Tic-Tac. Oh, yeah, that's ours. What flew over Washington, D.C. in '52, is that ours too? When are you going to break that out? You guys authorized tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars on weapon systems that can't do half of what we've seen UFOs do. So when do they break this out? If it's really a classified project, could change the world. I don't think they've made much progress, and I think they've been lying to us and to you and the rest of the world, and they're still doing it.
I mean, that's a fact, because we do like to show off some things from time to time when we make them, don't we? And we haven't really shown much of that stuff. So he's got a point. I wanted you guys to hear, the rest are pretty short clips, but I still want to hit them, and then we're going to go over that video. But I want you to pay attention to how this question goes.
What type of behavior have you witnessed from former AARO director Sean Kilpatrick as well as his staff in relate to this information you provided to them? Did they ever try to classify this information as non-human technology?
Good question. The problem with this is that I know what I experienced firsthand, and I know other things.
Okay, dropped that little hint, and I don't know that he really wanted to, but he did. Cat's out of the bag. He knows other things.
I think the staff at AARO that I had met with in March of 2023, I think they were good people doing the job they were told to do. I did not meet with Kirkpatrick. He was either not present or did not want to meet me that day. However, they did classify information about the reality of this subject, and it was very concerning because in my AARO MFR, they had actually referenced a former staff member that was the one who told me to go there, and they probably shouldn't have done that.
So why did they do that? I want to get some ideas. Why was that even made in there, Joe?
This is one of the questions, Enzo, I wanted to pick your brain on. Larry, I also wanted to pick your brain on. Why do you think, in your opinions, you're both prior service guys, along with me. Why do you think? I have an idea, but I want to see if we've got a consensus here. And while we're waiting on that, I'm going to hit a couple questions. So guys, take a second, type that up. What you think? Ashley says, "But what are they hiding? It's not just unidentified craft. What's so damning to strike fear into people? He's more afraid of the people than what he saw." 100%, Ashley. 100%.
As he should be.
Matt Carter said catastrophic is honestly going to have to be the way it happens at this point. I don't see secret keepers giving up this willingly. I agree. So let's see what we got.
I mean, there could be forced disclosure. We've never
there could be.
We've never really thought that. That's never been on the table, but it has to be now.
So me personally, one, the first red flag that flies in the air for me on this is the fact that they named the source that told him to go to AARO in the first place.
Right.
How did they know that?
Right. Right. Exactly.
And it could be that they shouldn't have done that, meaning that he now knows that the investigation into him went way deeper, or they shouldn't have done that because connections to other programs.
Yeah, it could be either one of those things.
And that it also put someone else and their career in the same danger and crosshairs that his career was put in.
Right.
Because if someone else is named as the person that told them to go there and it gets classified, it does become a need to see only kind of record at that point. But anytime a promotion comes around and they pull records to see if there's any kind of dirt, anytime a nod comes for anything, a good trip somewhere, like going on TDY, like a sweet TDY, like Peru, or going to get you might go from a position where you're being kept at Eglin Air Force Base to all of a sudden you're now stationed at Fort Lost in the Woods, Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Exactly.
And you get stationed in proverbial hell.
Right. It's true. It's true.
So Enzo said, we don't know the whole story. That person may have contacted AARO first to see if they wanted to talk to him. They very well could have.
Yeah. Yeah. We need more data. I think that's the better answer for that. And for a lot of these. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's get back to the show. We got a few more of these to go over, guys. We're down in the second row now, at least. Let's see, Wiggins. Ah, yes, Wiggins. I want to talk about body language. Pay attention to how he answers.
Him being active, you got to remember any word he says.
Yeah. Pay attention to nope, not what he says, what he doesn't say.
My first thoughts were, I think everything that I was told and taught as a kid and as growing adult no longer, was applicable. If I'm able to see something that I thought defies gravity in such a way, then what else could be possible? That was my first thought.
So did you think what you were looking at was a weapons program that you were unaware of, or did you think what you were looking at was obviously some extraterrestrial piece of technology?
Neither one of those crossed my mind. It was just.
How about now? What do you think it is now?
I'm not the expert.
Didn't you like that? Did you like that little pause, the little grin? I'm not the UFO guy. I'm not the expert. Yeah, that's kind of how you answer that question. Honestly, though, he did a good job on that. I'm really happy that's what he said.
What do you think the American people should take away from watching your video? Right, because when we watch it, obviously, right, we've never seen anything like that. It defies what we know to be technologically possible. What are we supposed to think? Someone's lying about something. Someone's hiding something, right? That's not normal what you looked at.
I think what the American people should think when seeing that video, along with others before me, is that there is something out there, and we should know as the people what it is.
Right, and so let's eliminate possibilities. So they didn't come to you and say there was a technological error with what you were looking at. So we put that aside, right? They didn't say it was broken. So we look at that and we see something. So it's either a weapons program being reverse engineered by our governments or other governments, or it's nobody's government, and it's not from here. Those are it. You agree with that assessment?
I agree. One or the other.
Mr. Borland, when you first experienced what you were looking at, what did you do next?
Listen to this. For you folks who haven't seen this or heard this, listen to this. He's talking to Borland now. What did you do next after you saw the the bright light and hovering over your house, etc.? What did you do next?
Like, what was your next step after it had passed and you were done?
I actually kind of laughed to myself and said, okay, so this exists as well. Worked in enough programs, been exposed to enough that I was like, okay, so this is a real thing. I went back, walked the track, talked with a couple of my friends about it. I did talk with some of my coworkers, one in particular, which I thought was a joke, and it definitely wasn't, was like, you probably should never say this to anybody. And then what happened to me happened. So.
Next one's the best.
What about you, Mr. How do you pronounce your last name?
NEWSNATION.
NEWSNATION. So obviously your incident happened well before we could record things on cell phones and things of that nature.
2005.
Right? What did you do when you first experienced? Because what you saw, right, you saw it happen like right out of your base.
Correct.
So tell me what you did after you saw that. What was like your next move? And I want to hear what your experience was.
My next move, I went into my house after it left. I made sure no one had been abducted, and I picked up the landline. I called the Security Forces Command Center. I reported it. I requested that they give me a call back and make notifications up the chain of command. I got a call back in about 15 minutes. They reported that the weather station reported no balloons or aircraft, nothing on radar, no aircraft inbound or outbound.
I'm just going to put this here, okay, because it needs to be put here. No one said follow up with that, by the way. No one said, could you clarify that, Mr. NEWSNATION? No one said, do you mean to make sure that everyone was okay in the house? Or do you mean abducted?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I almost fell out of the chair when I heard that. I'm just not going to lie to you, because it's like, did he really just say that? And he kind of smiles, and you kind of get the feeling that is exactly what he meant to say.
Yeah.
And
I think so. Because like, I mean, if I saw a large UFO hovering over my house, the first thing I'm going to do as soon as it leaves is make sure that all my people are there.
Right. Well, we know to do this now. That's why we call out the time in the field when we see things moving and so forth. Okay, next one.
What do you and your friends think about it today? You all have talked about it. Yeah. I mean, so what do you think about your experience as a collective group? That'll be my last question, Madam Chairwoman.
I mean, we've been talking about this for 20 years. We don't know what we saw. What we saw changed our lives and the way we think about everything. It was incredibly profound. The object I saw, I don't even know if it was an object. It was a light. It was an orb. It didn't look like a craft, but it did look solid. And that's what we talk about. We noticed the object, and this was a pattern across all the encounters.
This was a pattern across all the encounters.
Someone would see a light. They would pay attention to the light. And then the object responds. It performs for you. And then they come down and they investigate you. So it's almost like they're curious. So that's the thing we primarily talk about. Why did it come after we noticed it? Maybe it noticed us after we noticed it.
He's not wrong. Our
He's
data
not.
says that is exactly what happened, Mr. Nusatelli. That is almost exactly what happened.
It happens at almost every one of our research sites. The first time that it was glaringly obvious, the first time that it was it screamed in our face was when we were documenting the sighting by dawn with Paranormal Horizons, and we were out with Larry, and we were being led by the nose, and we knew something was up. And then when we looked up on the thermal, bam, there it was.
Yeah. And then it just got more playful after that.
It did.
Like it knew. It's almost like if you feed a cat, right? And you listen to their meows. Each meow means something different. I mean, I know my cat, I can know if it wants milk or I know if it wants a treat. And when you get that right, that nonverbal communication, they go nuts. They love it. That makes their day. They've achieved nonverbal communication. And I swear to you, that's how I view this thing. It was almost like it was happy that it did that. And it's like, okay, you're here. All right. Pick that thing up, point at the sky. I'm gonna give you a show.
Yeah.
Boom. And then the last thing that you guys haven't even seen yet. Okay. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm just gonna say Larry was there. Adam was there. We witnessed this thing, and I still don't know what it was. The phenomena that took place, it follows the pattern, don't get me wrong, but it's like it always wants to up it. It always wants to
It was, what to say, it was a pretty cool birthday present.
It was, wasn't it, Joe? That was a pretty good way to say that, buddy. I think you're right. I think you're right. Anyway,
Enzo says for his sighting, someone else had to have seen that over the base, and that was the case. There were 6 people. Plus, it stopping over the main base and irradiating the area should have been in someone's debrief sheet.
Yeah. Well, he goes on later on to mention that there was, gosh, I can't remember how many there were. We might have it on this clip. I don't know. We'll see it here in a second. A lot.
And do you think that, in your opinion, that the equilateral triangle was the U.S. government's technology?
I did once upon a time, but knowing what I know now, I'll have to answer that question in a skiff probably.
Here we go. Pay attention, kids. And now you're going to see why he's so nervous.
Well, my next question is, you teased us, so knowing what you know now means what?
I know enough to know that if you want an answer to that question, go to AARO.
I mean, I know enough to know that I'm not supposed to say anything else. That's what he was saying right there, politely. But it gets better.
Yeah, the answer.
Do you think it was a foreign government?
I do not. No.
And AARO is supposed to be disclosing. The last time I was in a skiff with AARO, they said they were going to be doing disclosures. Had they been doing much of that?
I don't have an answer to you you. I don't know. I know what AARO reports publicly, and I know what I've been through.
Yeah. And some of this stuff can be, I think, debunked, right? Sometimes there are weather balloons that look kind of a little funky, or drones or whatever, depending on the angle, direction, speed, etc. Are you scared for your safety? And do you think that, in your opinion, that the equilateral triangle was the U.S. government's technology?
There.
I did once upon a time, but knowing what I know now, I'll have to answer that question in a skiff,
Wait a
probably.
second.
Well, my next question is,
forward this.
you teased us, so knowing what you know now means what?
Did it put the wrong
I know
one
enough
up?
to know that if you want an answer to that question,
I
go
think
to
it
AARO.
put the wrong one up. Hang on. This one's kind of important, so I got to figure out which one it is. Let's see if this is it.
Okay, you said in your testimony earlier,
It may not be it.
hide from Congress what's really going on.
Oh.
Is a requirement.
This is what the U.
Oh, yeah, this is it. Here we go.
Allowed to hear it.
Yeah,
is
that's
okay,
the
you
one.
said in your testimony earlier with the chairwoman, you know other things. I guess it has to be mentioned in a skiff.
It would.
The other things.
It would, pending I'm even legally allowed to speak on, and the people in the room are even legally allowed to hear it.
Yeah, even legally allowed
Yeah.
to hear it. Think back what Jake Barber once said. Remember those phrases that he said?
Yep.
They can't classify consciousness. They can't redact your mind. Now it all starts to make sense, doesn't it? If you really think back about these little trails that these guys have been laying down without saying anything.
And is that, would we need to know the compartmentalized word, like what the code word is or the name of the program, the special access program, in order to even hear it? You have to know the word, right?
I would
The
suggest,
name of it, right?
I would suggest that to be asked to DNI Gabbard and work with her for that, because I can't give you the answer on what is the
But
requirement.
this is what the U.S. government does, right? They compartmentalize the information. Only certain people know the name of the program, and if you don't know it, you can't get the information. If you don't have the name, you don't know what to ask for. Even when we're reviewing the budget, we go into a skiff, we look at DoD budget and the budget of like black box programs, and we don't know what we're looking at because we don't know what these programs are. Is it a way for the government to hide from Congress what's really going on and where the money's going?
In my opinion, absolutely yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, but you don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, you don't talk about Fight Club.
No.
She's not telling outside the skiff. Yeah, she's like, I understand it. She's only got a certain amount of time, but like, read the room, lady. You know what the rules are. You know what he can and can't say.
Yeah.
You should have just strategically asked your freaking questions and said, can you tell me this in a skiff? Yes. Can you tell me this in a skiff? Yes. That would have sped through and you wouldn't have had to rant as much. AARO got thrown under the bus.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like he's being held hostage.
What do we have here? What is this? Uh-oh. Well, I don't know what that is. Must have fell asleep on that one. I'm not kidding, guys. I'm not joking. When I say I fell asleep, I did. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep. I'm pretty sure we missed a lot of this stuff. What's this one? Knapp, Borland. Oh, yeah.
And you had, you reported James Lakatsky came to you with government possession of NHI craft and how they ultimately gained entry. Can you testify to the veracity of that claim?
Dr. Lakatsky is an honorable man who served most of his career with the DIA, a very trusted, high-level rocket scientist and intelligence analyst who inspired the OSAP program, as I said earlier. And in full disclosure, I've
Please watch Borland's body language while this is happening.
co-written 2 books with him. He dropped this on myself and our other co-author out of the blue. And it took 14 months for us to get DOPSR approval for him to release 2 sentences on that. He said this craft, we had managed to get inside of it. It had no wings, no rotor, no tail. It had no fuel tanks. They didn't know how it flew or how it was operated. It clearly looked like it was aerodynamic, but he would not go further. He's a by-the-book guy, and until he gets clearance to say more about that, I don't think we're going to hear much more. But it's not ours. It wasn't ours. We didn't make it. We didn't know who made it and how it was built and how it operated. We've got at least one, and I don't know. I think that's enough confirmation that we do have recovered discs and materials.
Lastly, Mr. Borland, in the classified realm, have you been exposed to undeniable confirmation of NHI technology? And then my second question is BAE Systems involved in any way with reverse engineering exploitation of non-human intelligence craft?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation in the skiff for that. Whether I'm legally even allowed to answer that, and whether you're even allowed to hear it, sir.
Yeah. And
That means
he
yes.
was just sitting there
That means
saying,
yes.
don't call on me. Don't call on me. Don't call on me. Don't call on me. That's what he was doing. While Knapp he knew where that was going to go. But yeah, that means yes. That's how you read the room on that one. What you say? Let's see. What's this one? Here.
In the effort of transparency here, I got to admit to the witnesses that, growing up, I really never believed in UFOs or any of this stuff. I always thought it was a little kooky and whatnot. But, after hearing, your testimony from honorable service members, watching videos like my colleague, Mr. Burleson, just presented, I got to admit, I've become a believer. Not that I know where these things come from or, what they really are up to, but I'd like to start with asking the witnesses. Mr. Nusatelli, you were in the Air Force, right?
Yes.
Did you believe in UFOs prior to your encounter?
I've always been interested.
Okay. Chief Wiggins, you're currently in the Navy, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you believe in UFOs before your encounter?
I did. I'm from Las Vegas, and I've watched George Knapp my whole life.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Borland?
I have always been open to where facts go. So
follow the data.
He is, I'm telling you, this dude he knows what to say and how to say it. Follow the data. That's exactly what he said right there, Joe. I've always been open to where facts go. And he didn't answer it, but he did answer it. So yeah, that was something.
Larry, thank you, brother. We always appreciate you. You know that.
Absolutely.
You're amazing, brother. Thank you.
Let's see what this one is. Why the
Knapp, I've watched many of your videos on Joe Rogan and other places. One of the big questions, I think, for many of us is why do you believe that the federal government refuses to be transparent about this issue?
I think there's probably multiple reasons. At the start, when these things first started invading our skies in large numbers, we were scared. It was right after World War II, and we didn't know what they were, and they didn't want to panic the public, and that was probably a good call. Over time, I think the lying sort of became institutionalized, Flights over Washington, D.C. in 1952, they're seen, they're captured on radar, jets are chased after these objects, and then we get an explanation it was a temperature inversion. And those kind of lies have been told for a long time. What was told to me by an investigator from Congress, a guy named Richard D'Amato, who was sent after this story by Robert Byrd and Harry Reid, he came out to Nevada, tried to get into Area 51, did get in there, looked around, talked to people, trying to get to the bottom of it. He believed that this program, reverse engineering, et cetera, had been moved inside these corporations. And he said, when this comes out, people are going to go to prison. And he meant people who were basically misusing legitimate national security funds, tens of billions of dollars, in order to keep this cover-up going. I also believe there's a legitimate reason for the cover-up in that there is undeniable connection of national security involved in this technology. If we are racing for it to master that technology against the Russians and the Chinese, which is what I have been told by Senator Reid and many others, then it is a race that's critical to our survival.
No, that's exactly what we said. And we've been saying something very similar to that for a while. It's true. It's absolutely true that it does kind of, center on that, on the whole, basically survival of the human race.
It's a daunting challenge to get them to open up after lying about it for more than 75 years.
Yeah. And then finally, Mr. Borland, when you engaged with AARO in 2023, you noted that their public statements did not match the reality that you and others had witnessed. In your assessment, what were the key limitations of AARO?
I would put it to you this way. The statement AARO has made is scientific evidence of extraterrestrials. Scientific evidence requires a scientific control. Extraterrestrial is an entity on another planet. The only way...
Pay attention to how he's saying it and what he's saying.
To scientifically prove extraterrestrial is we have to go to that planet, acquire technology, bring it back, and compare it to what we have here.
So you're saying they won't let anything out because, or they won't come forward unless they confirm that and let's say go to the planet and confirm where its origin is?
That would be scientific evidence, yes. And by that statement, AARO found no scientific evidence of extraterrestrials is
by that statement. Only by that statement, i.e. we didn't go to another planet. Listen.
Basically, I don't want to call it a psyop, but a misrepresentation, because we do have things. But making that statement is not technically a lie. It's a misrepresentation of the full truth.
Okay.
Boom.
There it was. That's what, if you took anything away from this entire 3 hours, that was the gold that no one has, for whatever reason, addressed. I don't know why. There's still more. Don't get me wrong. There's still more nuggets here. But that was, to me, one of the best pieces of evidence ever that confirms what we have said. You can't call it alien because you don't know what that is. Unless you do. Unless you do. Right.
Keller brings up a great point here. Keep an eye on Borland. We need to make sure he doesn't get disappeared.
No, it's 100%. This guy I'm more worried about than anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Grush has a security team around him now.
Yeah. And this guy is in 3 weeks, he's off of his unemployment. I mean, so, who's going to help this guy? I don't know, but
Thank you, Madam Chair. First question, Mr. Borland, earlier today you mentioned that in a skiff, you would be able to discuss whether a member of Congress is actually legally able to access certain information. Under what?
Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound from
1984?
1984, the land grab, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing. All right, off we go.
What authority would a member of Congress be restricted from accessing information on this topic, even within a skiff?
I would suggest reaching out to Director Gabbard and speaking with her about that. I'm hopeful that this goes back to the executive branch and who even has authority. Unfortunately, I can't give you a 100% solid answer because I don't even have that knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that they understand exactly what he knows and what he doesn't know and what he can say and can't say. And someone asked, why are they asking him? Well, they're asking him to get it entered into Congress, the congressional record. That's why they're doing it. And they want people to see that reaction, and they want you to have a visceral reaction to that. And we do. We feel for this guy. Now, is that part of the plan? You say, if this is a psyop, then that's part of the plan, right? But if it's not a psyop, then it's human compassion, because, like, we're generally worried about this guy. I don't know this guy.
No,
but
yeah,
I'm generally
truly worried for his safety.
Yeah, absolutely. But apparently George Knapp, he doesn't give two rips about, not saying anything.
I mean, George is
Are
old.
any of you willing to name specific gatekeepers within the root cell of the UAP-SAP Federation?
Crickets. Watch George. Watch him.
You mean specific people and contractors that have dealt with us and kept the secret?
Specific individuals.
Well, one of them was named Dr. James Ryder at Lockheed. But, again, to emphasize, I don't fault these contractors for doing what they were asked to do by our government. They're supposed to lie if people ask about it. And the intelligence agencies who gave this stuff to them, CIA, I think primarily, told them to keep it quiet. And they've done that. And I suspect that they'd like an off-ramp.
There it was.
And he was careful to name a dead man.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. He was sitting there running through, who can I name that they can't go after?
Yeah.
Who can I name that they can't kill?
Right.
Someone who's already dead.
But they can always look up the records.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what he did. So it makes me wonder if there was a dead man switch in play at some point. You know what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
I think you do.
Oh no, I think when it comes to Knapp, I do believe so.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he said it himself.
I know they have it, but I mean, did they just give it to Congress? That's what I'm saying. Like, what did that guy have that may be out there that they can get their hands on? that they haven't bothered to look for until, he said that, because they didn't have a name. I mean, these are things we have to think about, because, it doesn't mean it is. So don't anyone go running and think, oh, Ron said this. No, I didn't. I said, could it be? Much like Giorgio does. Don't misquote me. It's rude. Anyway, carrying on.
This is, again, available to anyone. Is there a security classification guide for UAP or NHI?
Crickets.
I remember in the 2003 or 2023 hearing, it was stated that all UAP related material is classified secret or above.
So that basically means that all of it, not some of it, all of it is classified secret or above, right? So, but you know what? George has got some more stuff for us.
I have a name for you.
Go ahead.
Glenn Gaffney, CIA.
Glenn Gaffney, CIA. Another question for you, Mr.
Now, I want you to, everybody who's watched the show, you've seen us talk about the interview that was done with Matt, Jeremy, and Knapp when they interviewed him about his interaction. I want you, the person sitting beside Jeremy Corbell, directly behind George Knapp, was the guy from that interview. I want you to watch his face real quick. I'm going to roll it back.
Gaffney, CIA.
Glenn Gaffney, CIA. Another question for you, Mr. Knapp. What is, in your view, having investigated this issue for so many years, what is the long game with respect to disclosure of this information to the public? Because with the advent of essentially a video camera and a high megapixel phone in everybody's pocket, at some point, this information is going to be impossible to withhold from the public. What do you think is the long game here?
Well, the secret's out. I mean, how many videos have there been already? Videos that are leaked from within the military and intelligence agencies and contractors and sensor platforms. It's out there. But they have the high ground. The people that don't want us to take it seriously dismiss it, discredit the witnesses, come up with a cover story. I mean, it's been out there a long time. The public senses that it's real, and the people in authority dismiss them. It's a game that's been going on a long time, and I don't think they're ever going to release it. I think that there's an attitude among the people that have been involved in this for a long time that the public doesn't deserve to know, and that the public probably can't handle it, but they can.
No, I mean, and that's literally what it is, what he just said.
Yeah,
I think. But there's more to it. And again, we're not going to get to go through all of this, but there are some key parts I want to hit really quick before we go to the video, because we are going to do that. I promised you, and we are going to do that. Let me find this.
Chair, can I have ask a parliamentary question of you?
Yeah, sure.
Does this subcommittee have the authority to do subpoenas?
Task force. So the task force, to answer that question, has to do it through full committee.
Okay.
So, and also in regards to immunity, which to Mr. Borland's point, we are going to be doing a motion to ask for immunity for you and a few other people to come into a skiff and tell us what you know without being subject to the Espionage Act, et cetera.
Espionage Act. Why don't you explain that really quick while I queue up the next one? Because it's
sure. So the Espionage Act, if anyone is convicted of espionage, that is considered treason. That is, espionage could be purposefully leaking or incidentally leaking to a known source, government secrets, national security secrets, military positions, forward positions that aren't publicly known, things of that kind of nature. Those are punishable by death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it is swift. Those aren't cases where guys will go in for espionage and sit in jail for 10 or 15 years and then be executed. It is swift.
Yeah. And that is what he's up against. So when we look at his body language, he's making sure he doesn't trip a tripwire. That's exactly what he's doing. He's walking on a field of landmines, and he's making sure he doesn't hear the click. So just kind of be mindful of that. And, and again, let's see if we hear more from him in the future. And hey, it don't hurt to pray for this guy, because man, I'm telling you, he needs some guardian angels. Ain't no question about that.
Yep.
Speaking of guardian angels, maybe we got some, maybe we don't, but maybe something's watching this crappy little rock sometimes.
In your testimony and in this document, you detail an event that happened in Russia where their nuclear missiles were activated, and we were close to a World War III at that time, which is startling to hear. It's also good to know that as we have investigated the JFK files as well, that we're learning that that there was a document that was sent between Russia. There was an agreement between Russia and the United States that if they were to see some unidentified objects over sensitive sites, that they would report it to each other. Are you familiar with that document?
Yes, I'm also familiar with the rhetoric, public rhetoric between President Reagan and Gorbachev at the time, too, that they traded statements about, wouldn't it be something if we were threatened by something from way outside, how we might work together. I know for sure that they had conversations about it, and I know we did reach an agreement to try to lessen the possibility that us detecting a UFO or group of UFOs would not be mistaken for a bunch of Russian missiles. There were exchanges of that sort that went back and forth.
Yeah, and I can imagine this is, to me, the validity of this document is underscored by the fact that Russia would not want this to be known. They absolutely would not want to know, the public to know, or the United States to know, that there was a vulnerability in their missile systems. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And, and we had many similar incidents at our nuclear weapons facilities here that have all been sort of swept under the rug, but it's pretty scary when you take down 10 missile silos during tense times, and you don't have a better explanation for it than it was a special test of security mechanisms or using EMPs, which is a preposterous explanation.
No, he's 100% on that. And then there was this little clip right here.
Back in 1996, and it was like I had the plague. I spoke to different people, but they were scared. And eventually, the story was spun where the Ministry of Defense officials who gave us this information were described as ufologists who said there was nothing really significant to these files. They didn't really find anything a big deal. And I can tell you, you'll see those files that I shared with you. They did find stuff. There was an incident in October of 1982 over at ICBM base where UFOs popped up, was observed over this base where the missiles are pointed at us, United States. These UFOs perform incredible maneuvers. They split apart. They fuse back together.
They split apart, they fuse back together.
Huh.
They'd appear and disappear, and right at the end of this 4-hour period, the
4 hours, by the way,
launch control codes for the ICBMs lit up. Something entered the correct codes. The missiles were fired up and ready to launch, and they could not shut it down. The Russian officers were panicking. The UFOs they disappeared. The launch control system goes back to normal. Colonel Sokolov and his team came in, took the thing apart, could not figure out what it was. It wasn't a power surge or EMPs or some of the baloney excuses that our country has given for similar events involving our nuclear missiles. They thought it was a message from wherever the UFOs were from. And that's a chilling thing. I mean, we were a couple of seconds away from World War III starting, and the UFOs were responsible for it.
I've heard under 10. I can't confirm that. Under 10 for those missiles to launch. And if those missiles launched, you wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
Or you'd be glowing like Joe.
So thank you. We are disclosure. You are exactly right. It rests with us.
That's 100%. Every single one of us. And speaking of disclosure, we're not going to play their version. We're going to play our version. So I'm going to do screen share, and we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that missile. Everybody thinks they know what it is. I've seen so many experts on
You are going to hear exclusive content here. No one is talking about this specific part of this story at all.
Well, we
They're
need to
also
figure
not
out
sharing
why.
this specific theory. You're not going to hear this one anywhere either. You heard it here first.
So for you folks who braved it, Yeah, for you folks who braved out and stuck around here, I know we had 50. Now we got down to 37, like 40. For you folks who are here, you're in for a treat. You can at least weigh in at the end and let us know what you think.
Start blowing up those reactions. Let's get some eyes in here.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to get some reactions. Start hitting the reacts and the likes and all that stuff so we can get the algorithms kicked up to say, hey, something's happening. We need to push this out to more people. Because here's the good part. This is the meat and potatoes of the whole show. We're going to share a screen right now. You guys let me know if you can see this because it's going to go blank for me. Window. I believe it is this one. Is that it?
Yes.
Do we have the target? Okay. All right. All right, guys. Here we go. We're going to do something that for some reason no one's doing. We're going to play it and we're going to look at it closer. So let's do that. This is what you've all seen. See that turn? There's the turn. It's locked on at this point. It knows that.
Here it comes.
Now, what I want you to look at, stop. What I want you to look at, can you see my pointer? You guys see my pointer, right? Okay. This is the main body right here. These are they're saying, oh, this is the piece of the missile. No, it's not the piece of the missile.
Absolutely not.
It's also not random. We're going to skip through this frame by frame.
I want to explain to the people why it's not the missile first, because we've heard that excuse from a lot of idiots. Yeah, I said that.
Let's back it up. Well, I'll show you why it's not.
There are people who are commenting on this that are absolute morons and have no idea what they're looking at, that this is a thermal image. That rocket, see that little white blip right there by the large white blip?
A little bit bigger for you, and we'll see if we can see it a little bit better. Give me a sec. I got to find the effects control. Here it is. I got it. All right. Let me go down here. Grab this.
What you're looking at, the white marker that you see is a heat signature. Yeah. That means that is the exhaust of the rocket.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You are looking at just the exhaust. Now, right now, because of the resolution, you can't see the tip, but that is all exhaust. That's not rocket.
It's moving. It's moving at 600 miles an hour, and we don't know the apertures that this thing's firing at as far as this thermal is resolution set at either.
Between 600 and 900. We know that we did a lot of math.
We may actually be able to see the plume right here, Joe. If I'm not sure.
Well, no, that's once it passes and strikes it, let it strike.
Okay.
Okay. A little bit more. Because there's a moment here where you can actually see the rocket itself. Keep going. Nope. Zoom out a bit.
Okay. Gotcha.
A little further. A little further. It's right when it gets close to the edge of the screen. So, okay, here. Bring it in on that rocket.
Rocket going in. There we go.
Now, you still can't see it here, but if you watch this, you will see where all that's exhaust. There's a dark tip that you'll be able to eventually see at some point. I've got it in a in a frozen frame, but that's on my work computer, not here.
Yeah, it's not going.
We might be able to see it in that full path. But go ahead. We'll go back and talk to him about the rocket, the fire that you're seeing the exhaust. You're not seeing the rocket here. Now go back to the UFO.
Okay. Before impact?
No, yeah. Just you go in, go through the strike.
Oh, okay. There's the collision. There's a shape shift right here. There's the rocket. The missile coming out. Here's a piece of this. Another piece of this is going to come and emerge off right here. It's coming out of it. Actually, you can see it come out, or
What I
seems to
want
come
is,
out.
while you're here, Ron, stop.
Stop.
Look at the exhaust on the rocket.
Yeah.
What color do you see that shouldn't be there?
I see a dark black. Now,
What?
I have to ask the question, whoever did this thing, we don't know where this video came from. Okay, first of all, is it embossed? Because it reminds me of an embossed image.
Well, you got to think about how the thermal images show up.
Right.
It's contrast.
It is.
If it was embossed, that means the entire thing was embossed the whole way through.
True. Yeah. And it's not showing that up here.
Okay, so go
wide
into what you saw with the break apart.
right there. Okay, here we go. So you're going to watch these things come out of this, off or out. I don't know. But either way, we're going to zoom in on that. Okay. Because I want you to look at the shape of these random pieces of debris of whatever. Random pieces of debris. Are we moving forward? Yeah, we're moving forward. There we go. Do those look like random pieces of debris to anyone?
Not in the slightest.
I mean, let me move this thing out of the way just a little bit. I need to be able to get, there we go. Now we can jog it. Yeah, I want you to look at those random pieces of debris, guys. There's random pieces of debris. I mean, here's the deal. I don't even know what the odds would be that you could do this by an act of randomness. Okay. You've got literally the same shapes that are taking place right here on these things, whatever they are.
Yeah.
They're literally the same shape. So much so that I even asked Joe, I said, Joe, we don't know where this video came from, right? No one's actually came out and said it was from me. You know, this was one of those drops. So, you know, we don't know where it came from. And we have to put it on the table. Could this be a psyop? Could this be an AI generated image? I don't think it is. I'm just saying that if we look at the perfectness of these, the near perfection of these pieces, that is not random debris.
No.
And people want to call this a balloon. I mean, I don't understand it, honestly. If this is a balloon, then we've got to figure this out. What are these? Because balloons don't have identical shaped things that come out of them.
No.
When they're hit, look at this. These are the same. And I'm not feeding you. I'm not leading the witness here. I'm showing you the data. You make up your own mind. Do those not look like the same thing? Yes or no? You tell me.
Yeah, they look like they're the same shape.
Am I wrong? You tell me. You're watching this. This is the data. Like it or not, those are not random debris. They appear to be moving along with this thing. Now, the worst part about the whole video, in my opinion, is when it all goes back. But look at this, what I found when we skipped through. Look at these little random signatures. Now, to most people, they're like, oh, we're just going to explain that away. That's something in the background. Well, maybe it is. But we didn't have something in the background on ours. And we actually checked to see if these were thermal anomalies or if they were equipment malfunctions. They are not equipment malfunctions. This is a cold spot. If this is a thermal image, that is a cold spot. Because we're assuming this is hot, right? That's what we're assuming, that we're seeing this in hot.
Yeah, this is white hot.
Yeah, white hot. So we've got a cold thing that's floating around. Look at these. Look at these. This is all there. You can look at this. This is a weird constellation of images. Now, we received something very similar to this and talked about on Paranormal Horizons. This was the thing that led us out. And when we did a frame by frame, we noticed these in the sky near that object, near the UAP that we had. And I call it UAP because I don't know if it's UFO. But here's the thing. We should see these in every single frame. They're not. In the same way with our stuff. We should see these in every single frame. They should be there. They're not. They're only there in those particular incidents. And just like this one, they're gone. They're only in one frame. That's the weird part about it. Continue on with these little random pieces of debris that are falling into the ocean, as they say. Yeah,
But they're
looks like
moving
it.
at the same speed. and
Sure
they're-
looks like it, doesn't it? Sure looks like it, doesn't it? I've slowed it down for us so we can watch the progression. The worst thing is when right there, when the drone switches the channel, and we can see it a little bit there. I've zoomed in a little bit for us.
What's that look like to you guys? Does that look familiar at all?
Look at that. And look right here. You can see it right there. You'll see a little guy falling
And
right
then they
beside it.
join back up and merge.
There they go. They're
Here it
gone.
comes.
Did you see it twist? You see it do the twist? Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Wait for it right here. Watch the twist. There it was. Right there. Rolling around.
And we have documented that. This looks identical to the subjects that we have been filming for years.
I don't know.
Now, here's some raw information for you. I'm going to throw up some pictures real quick, Ron.
Okay, I'm stopping that. Go ahead.
That is a Hellfire missile. The Hellfire missile is approximately 5'3" or 5.3 feet. It can vary a little bit depending on what kind of tip is on it, and it weighs roughly 100 pounds.
Yeah.
This thing travels max speed 900 miles an hour. Payload is normally a 20-pound warhead, but it can also be the they've been modified. There's a few different versions of these. This specific version has a warhead implanted. There are versions of these that have cameras in them that are loaded with sensors. And there are versions of these that also are what they call the Afghani Ginzu.
Yeah.
And it is where there's basically blades that can deploy from it.
It's non-sword style. It flies and twists, and it's a big old meat cleaver flying through.
Pretty
the sky.
much turns into a 900 mile an hour blender.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, that said, 900 mile an hour max speed. We don't know the altitude of drone A.
No.
Drone A is monitoring the subject and paints the subject for drone B to strike.
Yeah, it does.
Drone B sends in the strike. Drone B's Hellfire comes in, hits the object. There's a few opinions out there that it could have been disabled or that there was a failure. I have a completely different theory. And I shared this with Ron yesterday. There's a very real possibility that this was a retrieval and that we launched a Hellfire knowing that it was the only thing that we were going to have that was going to catch this thing in the moment of time we had, strike and record extremely valuable data. And if it had the blades on it, remove material that which we could go back and collect, retrieve, and utilize and conduct experiments on. Now, I have also this freeze frame. This is a step-by-step. Now, if you look at the very bottom of that where the exhaust, the rocket stops, that little black tip that's above the second A in the Amazon Music symbol. If you go up and look at the little black tip, that's the actual body of the rocket. That's the 5-foot section. Can you guys see that part?
Yeah, I see that.
That is the actual rocket. That big plume on the back, that's the heat signature coming from it.
What we're seeing here is a composite track of all the activity on one stacked image, right? That's what we're seeing.
Now, yes, this is a stacked image, frame by frame.
Well, I want to address something while you're doing this really quick, because we've heard some other people saying that we can't trust this image because it doesn't have any telemetry data. Joe, you are showing active telemetry data in the upper right, lower right, upper left, and partial mid left of this image.
It's there.
Yeah.
Then you see the course of this rocket. You see the strike, and then it deviates, and it actually looks as if it's heading back to original course, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Original straight line course.
Yeah,
Like it strikes.
Yeah.
You can see where it corrects to impact, and then it buzzes away and goes off. Lord knows where it lands. We don't even know where it got picked up. But using that black tip, that 5-foot image, and scaling it off
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the size of this thing, we've said this before. I'm projecting that the size of this UAP would be about the size of an Airstream, roughly 30 feet.
Which matches roughly the size that Fravor originally said that the Tic-Tac that they engaged was.
It does indeed.
Roughly around the same size. If
this thing was roughly, if it's the same kind of thing we've recorded, Fravor's recorded, Graves is recorded, that was recorded in this, and that, again, we have recorded dozens of times at this point. If it's the same thing and it's roughly 30 feet, then that's well large enough for multiple occupants. There could have been pilots in there, lending to what David Grush has said about retrieving biologics.
Yeah, who knows, right?
We saw that split. We saw the top of this thing when it struck break apart like fluid.
Yeah.
Ron, you had
heard
mentioned
that.
You had mentioned it. Go for it.
We heard that. We've heard the fluid thing for so long. We've heard people talking about, this is almost plasma-like state. We've actually documented that. We have, which we're going to show again. But for you folks who didn't see it, go watch Paranormal Horizons. It's there. It's over there. And what episode was it? Episode 11, right? Yeah. 10 and 11. And you're going to see that thing kind of come in there and merge for a second and then pop away. Which has just it's the same, kind of characteristics. The biggest thing with this is we've had these little rabbit trails, these little, we're going to lead you with the little Reese's Pieces here, ET. Literally, that's what's been happening here. Burleson came out not that long ago, a few months back, said something about, he had talked to someone who basically said that these things are in the ocean. He had said multiple times, he referenced the movie Abyss and said it was similar to that. Ladies and gentlemen, without saying it, that is a liquid.
Yeah.
That is liquid. That is what we're seeing. We heard the same thing from one of the witnesses here who said that the triangle that they observed had this shifting and it looked liquid.
What if we said we want some of that?
Right. Back when we know that it's been reported for a while. The first report that I honestly remember ever hearing, this is me way back when, so here's something for you, was back, by now say, remember hearing about the weird stuff, was those huge triangles that flew over Belgium. When they flew over the town, this was in the 80s, and when they flew over the town, as I recall, there were instances where these lights would be seen, these big orange lights would be seen, and they would break apart and they would shoot off in all directions throughout the town. We heard the same thing from witnesses of Rendlesham. We've seen this repeated again and again. And part of the reasons I tell you guys not to chase the orbs, very simple. We don't know what they're going to do.
We recorded this same behavior ourselves with Steve.
Yeah. That was the one. That's what I'm getting at. The thing that came in and merged and, you thought it was a bird at first. Not a bird. Yep. So this is real data. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to tell you what it's not. Okay.
Larry says ones that authorized it are the same ones that claim it's not there.
Probably. I'm going to say, in our opinion, based on our data, based on what we have seen, based upon what we have witnessed, based upon all that research from years and years of other people who have researched this stuff, even John Keel, yes, we are dealing with something that is at times physical, but other times not. Now, the question is, by not, do we mean that it's a plasma? or is it some form of liquid, or is it some state of matter that we just can't even possibly wrap our heads around at this point?
Or is
And
it more
that,
than one?
right. And is that the wave that we've always talked about? Is this the wave? We always said that there's a carrier, there's a ship, right? You can't see the ship, but you can see the distortion. No, I think this might be the wave. This might be what actually makes this whole thing work. It's a pattern.
And even necessarily might not be what makes it work, but it could be what causes it. It could be the gravity bubble.
It could be the gravity bubble. Yeah.
It could be the defense for this thing to be able to do and break physics the way that it does.
I mean, that could be a very offensive mechanism. We don't know what happened. Okay. Here's the problem with it. We've got these experts that are out there talking. The best
experts, they're web experts, not, but maybe 2 or 3 of them are ever boots in the ground out in the field looking at this stuff. They're YouTubers who clickety clackety away on their keyboards.
That's true. But here's my point. It doesn't matter who they are, right? What matters is that the right answer, the correct answer is simply this. We need more data. Okay. Yeah. We don't have any data on this. We need more data because right now the data shows us and we follow the data. We don't follow our beliefs and we don't follow Occam's razor, not all the way, because that thing's been proven to be so dull at this point with this phenomena that you couldn't cut the skin off of a tomato. Look, here's the point. We don't know. Okay. Anyone who's telling you that they know what this is, they're getting the information from either other people or it's 100% ego. I don't have an ego with this. I don't know what it is. I'll tell you right now, I don't know what this is. Joe's going to tell you the same thing. We don't know what this is. Based upon the data that we are seeing, this again, yes, it's over the ocean, it's over the water, all these things. There's this connection. There is a relation to this phenomena that seems to be generating this replicable pattern of liquidity, I guess is the word, right? Or plasma, or whatever you want to call it.
Again, we see it here as well. I see what Keller is saying here is that it is way easier to chase and pursue these things over open water where there's no mountainous terrain. You have way more horizon to view when you're on the coast or on the ocean.
Well, you've also got
here in the mountains.
You've also got a constant temperature below you, and you can target that thing a whole lot easier, right?
You can, the gradient's going to be way more consistent.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be fighting with a constant changing gradient. The ocean stays pretty much at one temperature while you're over these areas. So the correct answer is we don't know what it is. Okay. We need more data. Then we can try to figure out exactly what it is. We don't know why it was fired upon. We're speculating 100%. Joe makes a very valid point. If we were on a research mission to try to gather some of that stuff, yeah, that's quite possible. You have to remember what was said in this hearing about the material. You don't have to go to a planet to get it. That's a misrepresentation.
And you don't want to start a war either.
Exactly. Think about that. So we don't know. We need more data until someone comes forward and says that this is a legit thing, that this is a Defense Department or, whatever you want to call it. Some agency is going to have to come forward with a clear, keep it free. See you, Mothman. Thank you. Thank you so much. Multiple blessings. We don't know, and we won't, and we need more data. I'll back up with that. Until someone comes forward and with a chain of custody on this thing. We don't know. And you can't say, we have to remember George even said we heard about this. He didn't say we seen it. He said we heard about it. We seen it today for the first time. So we were hoping we get to see it. That's what he said. But they heard about it. So that doesn't rule out the fact that someone could have done this, that this could still be a psyop. We have to throw it on the table until we get more data. So let's not get all crazy about it. Let's not say, we're shooting down aliens, but we probably might be. I'm just going to throw that out there to you until someone comes up with some more data. Right now, that's what the data shows, right, Joe?
That is what the data shows, and the people show this.
Wow. I told you it was going to be a deep one. I told you it was going to be a long one, but we got through it somehow. I don't know how we did it. But thank you all. I hope you got something from this. I really do. You know, feel free to chop up bits of it and, you know, share it. We really don't care. I mean, try not to make us say things we didn't say. We care about that. That's not going to go good for you.
Right. But I mean, I do like Prometheus's theory here, hyper intelligent quantum engineering technology.
Yeah.
I mean, it would almost have to be the behavior is beyond anything that we can fathom. It's beyond anything we can harness.
It is. And if we take, you know, oh, there's another one, Jordan. Bless you, bless you, bless you. If we take, you know, anything from the data from the hearing, we heard multiple times. We can't say it's alien. We never could. No one brought up extra dimensional, by the way, except for I think George. He might have said something to that. I left it out because there was a section where he did kind of mention that, and
Yeah.
I think with your old buddy there, Burchett, he even said something about it could be older, et cetera, as well. So,
Rick Skinner, thank you.
Rick,
Jordan Booker, thank you. You guys are awesome.
Guys. Bless every single dang one of you. You're awesome, awesome, awesome.
Keller, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Wow, so much thanks.
Here we go. Here we go.
Godot, you're probably right. And here's the thing. We have to admit that there is a they first. That's where we are right now. Before we had to admit there was an it, right, Joe? We had to admit there was an it, which was the UFO UAPs. Headline, they're real. UAPs, UFOs are real. Okay. Now we have to work on the NHI aspect. Once we hit that, then we're going to get to, well, how long have they been here? What does that mean for us? So let's think about it. And you made a good point there, Matt. 54 views and 12 likes. Yeah, that's sad. So make sure after the show, if you do think that it was worth, you know, watching, do hit that hype button. I don't know what it does.
And leave a comment and hype it.
Yeah, leave a comment and hype the thing. And it'll really help us. It'll help the algorithm see this. Because, you know, for whatever reason, there are people who are spewing off whatever they think it is all over the web. And, you know, we got as much right to say what we think it is as they do. You know,
and we have a whole lot more credibility and a whole lot more
I don't have any
body of work.
Well, we have that, but as far as credibility goes, that's an imagined thing for me. I like to imagine sometimes that I'm credible. Keeps me going. No, actually, we're very proud of what we do, guys. There's a lot of jokes, and you know that might get us in trouble with some people from time to time who think that we're a bunch of clowns or et cetera, but we're not. We're dead serious. We know when to joke. We know when to have fun. And to be honest with you, this is a terrifying subject. If you haven't noticed what George Knapp was talking about, he's talking about World War III. He was real. Yeah. He's not joking about that. When me and Joe have these conversations, it's very dark. So that's why it usually ends up with, you know, us laughing and having margaritas. Right. Because sometimes you just got to laugh at this stuff. Okay. I learned that a long time ago.
Enzo says most commentary has been shoot from the hip with little to no research, like most of the internet hot takes, which is what we're getting a lot of about this. We actually have experience in the field. We have experience in the military with understanding, knowing these platforms, how they work, what we're seeing, what we're reading, and what these things are capable of, and what we are capable of, what our known inventory is capable of.
I just know that balloons don't blow apart like that.
Right.
We can do it.
You know how much money I would have saved if I'd have known that all those Mylar balloons my kid destroyed self-healed?
They self-heal. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I've thrown all those away too.
I don't know. I mean, we could buy some Mylar balloons, take them out, hit them on thermal, right? And just
we could take them out to the TNT areas. It's a great place to take them out and film it.
Yeah, and film that and pop them and see how many pieces blow off that look the exact same. They won't. They won't. You'll win the lottery first.
Well,
So
guys,
we need to figure out what that was. That's where I'm
yeah.
at with it.
Yep. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with us this long. We did an extra half hour for you guys to get in part of the analysis. There's a whole mathematical breakdown that we will eventually get over. I might record a separate recording for it.
No, I hate math. I hate math. He can do it.
It's boring. But we are going to be at the Carter County Bigfoot Festival this weekend out in Olive Hill, Kentucky. Come
brand new
hang
presentation.
out.
Brand new presentation.
Yep.
Specifically made. Yes, brand new. So on top of making what you saw tonight, and the other clips that we did, we have a new presentation, and we have a new presentation coming from Mothman. So yeah,
Speaking of
been busy.
Mothman. There's our flyer. We will be speaking at Mothman Sunday at 1 p.m. September 21st. Be there or miss out, because we actually have footage you've never seen before that came from Point Pleasant. You're going to want to see that.
And you might see something else.
Yeah, you could be something else. Plus, we're also going to reveal the name of the new series.
There's that.
Next up, last but not least, before we close out here, we're going to be at CryptidCon along with Eric Bard, Thomas Winterton, and Cliff Barrickman, and Jeff the Man Walmsley. You guys definitely want, if you're in the area and can make it, come out to that, hang out with us. It's going to be an absolute ball. We're going to be there. We're going to be having fun. We're going to have a presentation that is.
I just noticed they stuck an alien behind me.
They did, right?
That's hilarious.
We're going to have a presentation that will have footage that you've seen, some that you haven't seen, and it's going to be a really good time. You will enjoy it, and you will see the parallels of what we experience versus what they have experienced out on the ranch.
Follow the data, man. That's all I can say. Follow the data.
Sweet. I've been looking forward to the name reveal. We have too. It's a good one. You all will like it. And remember, everybody, stay wild and weird. Have a good weekend despite all the craziness and chaos. And we will catch you right here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday for Wild and Weird Late Radio Live. Stay wild and weird, everybody. Till next time.